If you guys don't know who these guys are, and if you can hear me, it's my guys, Body of Light. Go check them out. We jammed to them on our last beach trip the entire time. And they're Rainbow Trends fan. So big shout out to those dudes. They're awesome. They just wrapped up a tour, which is very sad I didn't get to see them. But anyway, you're loud and clear. Sean at Lynn, how you doing, bud? Always good to see you. Can you guys hear the jam at all, or is it too loud? The beats. Grok gave me a DJ whale with stock charts, so we're gonna keep the music going. But anyway, what's up next? So anyway, yeah, we got a lot of stuff to talk about this week. We got an hour to cover it. We're gonna hang out here at on all the different streams for a bit, and then we're gonna go to hang out in the Discord for the rest of the night, Rainbow Trends Discord. And if you don't know, the link's up here. You can check us out at rainbow-trends.com. Full disclaimer, this stream is not intended to be used for financial advice. It's meant to be used for educational purposes only and art channel at the same time. So have fun with that, and definitely go check out what we're about, who we're about, our friends and fams. There's Nexus himself listed there with his old PFP. Dan Ishman, CEO of TrendSpider, my guy 9K. Pep, who we're about to get banned from Stacks Discord pretty soon, I'm sure. So it's been real. And working on getting some website updates soon. We got some other tools. I got the 913 sequential pivots that we've been working on, the Manifestor special, and so forth. But we'll go ahead and get going. So big update. If you guys don't know, Doppel, big fan of Doppel. Love Doppel. Can't talk about him enough. Probably annoy the hell out of him at this point. But the most elusive Doppel bait I've been working on to date, the Decision 2020 card has been received by PSA and is being graded as we speak. I don't know when we're going to get this back. I'm going to try to figure out how to live stream what we're going to get. We're going to pray for a PSA 10. An 11 comes through, even though those don't exist. But this is going to be the Janet Yellen Decision 2020 card. And as far as I know, no one has ever submitted any of these to be PSA graded. So technically, we're in price discovery mode, and we don't know where this is going to go. So we could be minting a 6-figure card here. Maybe it's worth more than a Charizard. We don't know, but I'm very excited about this. And as I like to bait Doppel into bets sometimes for the charity stuff, maybe we can figure out something fun to do with this card, give it away, raffle it, I don't know, unless it's worth like a Ferrari, we'll see. But moving on, if you guys want to see something cool, Kraken's actually dropping their desktop beta, and I've only seen a few glimpses of it, but I'm like super jealous, and I'm on the waiting list now. I hope they give it to me. I'm actually really excited for this, and I'm interested to play with it because so far, I used to support Kraken because I liked Jesse Powell so much, and I liked what he was about. And then they, lo and behold, got their exchange kicking ass with lower fees, great UI, and it's my preferred North American exchange at this point. And if you guys are ever curious about checking them out, I set up the Rainbow Trends affiliate, and it's in my profile now. So if you guys want to sign up through that, we'll use this funds to help out our dog pound donations that we do about every once or twice, or every 1 or 2 months. I'm actually overdue. I gotta go drop them off below this. Probably be this weekend, to be honest with you. So we'll try to get that done with the kiddos and get some more pictures of rainbow pups. But moving on. Like I said, that's the link there. That's cool crap. So, big thing this week. Where are we going to start with the markets? I'm going to start with TradeFi. I know that's the backwards thing that I normally do, but if you guys know, these streams are kind of ad-libbed. So we're going to switch it up today. What's up, Cardenas from YouTube? If you guys don't see the chats too well, we're triple streaming right now, but we had a really, really scary week this week. A lot of TradeFi newts, was a lot of money erased, and a lot of it was real scary for a few reasons. The really big catalyst though, allegedly this news drop, Department of Justice gave a subpoena to NVIDIA for antitrust violations. And this kind of shocked the market pretty bad. We have a bad history of DOJ interfering during bull runs. We'll cover that in a minute. But if you guys don't know, the CEO right there, that's dropped this week, times 100 top 100 AI people. So shout out Christina, or not Christina. I can't remember her name now. Scarlett Johansson getting a spot up here, and no Sam Altman on this chart. But we've got her, and we've got some Hollywood actors. So this is a real interesting top 100 list. But they did put the king on top, and that's our NVIDIA CEO. And they allegedly were told, or it was announced in the news, DOJ was hitting them for antitrust. And I got real frustrated, but it's something that's happened before, because NVIDIA is not necessarily, in my opinion, antitrust. They just are pissing excellence, essentially. And their video cards are so good. I'm sorry. I'm very biased, but it shocked them. And if you guys don't know, the whole S&P 500 run right now is kind of running on an AI tech bubble. Whether it's a bubble or not, AI is really, really cool. I don't think it's as much as a bubble as like hamster racing was, but essentially your king is bleeding. She's down 20%. And this is one of the biggest companies in the world at this point. 5-10 years ago, this was not the case. NVIDIA's way up there, and it's bleeding. And it's bleeding bad, and people are scared. And we don't know where this is going to go. This was the yen carry trade kind of dying off, but this thing has been an absolute monster that you'd be just crazy to short this thing. But like, we had a channel walk from $51 all the way up to 96 in the TradeFi. This thing's now, what is it, the top 3 biggest companies in the world? This is crazy. It's scary, because you guys know how I talk about, like, hey, crypto, Bitcoin is the king, it matters. When it's struggling, everything else kind of follows the king and bows to the king. Right now in TradeFi, this is the king. This is what people are worried about. This is one of the craziest, amazing companies in the world who's powering the chips market for all these AI calculations. The whole reason I can generate rainbow colored whales and funny cat photos, like, it's all grok and it's all crunching on these NVIDIA processors. Like, there's a lot of stuff behind this. So anyway, now I will say this, Runnerbot on the 2-hour, really good on NVIDIA. NVIDIA is pretty volatile. 4-hour works too, but it's a little slower. But regardless, the point here is karate chopped through with a HMA, RSI top, Runnerbot top. If I turned on the RSI bot, it would ping right there. But the point is, NVIDIA is bleeding. And we need to take note. Now, this is the thing. I'm super, super bullish on NVIDIA. I'm super, super bullish on Tesla, all these different things, right? But you have to realize, if this is a top 5, don't quote me, but it's up there. It's ridiculous market cap. This just can't keep doubling and tripling in value. There's just not enough gold or money or silver, shout out dime, in the world. It just doesn't happen. So that's how we got to get with it. It's the same thing like the people that used to trade Tesla 10 years ago. They want to keep seeing like multiples that really isn't there. Like, it's not going to happen. And it's the same thing with like the reason, like, you ever see me talk about why Ripple cannot literally hit $500. Like, it's physically impossible, short of us mining an asteroid made of diamonds that happens to fly by. Like, that's where she's gonna go. But anyway, what's up, RMF? I want some more vacation pictures, by the way. If you guys don't know who RMF is, he's our Aussie who always comes into the weekly roundtables in the Discord. So much love. He's been around. He's been rocking Rainbow Trends since version 1.0. Oh, he's home. We definitely gotta get this stuff going. But anyway, so that's NVIDIA. And I've been playing a little more with TrendSpider lately. I like Dan. I love Dan. Like their product. Lo and behold, they're working on trying to get rainbow trends on TrendSpider, which is an absolute monster, because your homeboy here, Runner, doesn't know Java or JavaScript, albeit only JavaScript matters. But this is one of the cool things I wanted to show you guys, because you can sit there and go, you can look at the NVIDIA chart. You definitely can't get rainbow trends yet, but I like to show that it does work. It's kind of cool. But this is the NVIDIA chart. And if you guys don't know, TrendSpider's got a lot more data than other people, not to name names. And if you go over here on the right side, because I'm learning this stuff, and I want you guys to learn it too, because it's really cool. And for the record, in the Discord, there is a link. I don't make a dime on this, but the reason I gave the kickback back to the users, Rainbow Trends has the biggest discount in TrendSpider history. And if you click on, where is it? TrendSpider discount, we get 45% off for life. So almost 50% off for if you guys use our link. The code is Rainbow45, which is 45%. So shout out, Dan. It's not an affiliate thing. I don't make a single cent on that. They actually kind of thought I was crazy to give the kickback back. But I was like, I don't want it. Give it back. And they gave us a deeper discount, which was really nice of them because they didn't necessarily have a plan in place to do that, but they made it happen because no one's ever asked for that. So we add to the sidebar. We hit insiders. That's your CEO of NVIDIA. If you can't tell, he's been selling hundreds of millions of dollars worth of NVIDIA stock. And I can tell you right now, I don't blame him. I wouldn't blame anybody. If there was Rainbow Trend stock worth this, we'd be offloading. Facebook does this all the time. Zuckerberg's notorious for selling his stock multiple days out of the year. But he tends to have a trend here. He's selling into this bull run, and who wouldn't? If your company hit the top 3, I think this dude literally, I want to say he worked at McDonald's or something crazy. And anyway, he's an absolute rock star now. I can't be any happier with my 3080 Ti. I can't wait for the 5000 series, but this is cool. You can sit here and look up the insiders and what they're doing. And I can even go all insiders. I can see directors, officers, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You can actually click these people by name and stuff like that. And it's just really cool. But regardless, I wanted to point it out. You can actually check this stuff out, see what he's doing. The other cool thing, and mind you, this is not a paid sponsorship. I just think this stuff's nifty. And that's typically what these streams are about. So you can actually go to what's happening now. Because I fumbled this for a very long time. And it took me a while to figure this out. So I'm going to show you guys the cheat codes, how to do this. So you go to what's happening now, and you're like, man, what is Congress doing? So you go to what's happening now, you clear out your thing, and you can start looking through this. And there's actually the Pelosi tracker. And if you guys didn't know, Pelosi bought $1 million worth of NVIDIA stock. Whether that's an option trade or spot, I don't know. It's probably an option trade. But the interesting part of this is she just closed it on July 30th, and it was on July 26th is when she bought. So let's go to daily. And July 20... I'm sorry, that's June. July 26th. So she bought around 115, 112, etc. Price right now is 106. So I'm really interested to see how the greatest stock trader of all time is actually navigating this trade. Now note, transaction date and report date, there's a lag here. It's the reporting requirements of Congress, and mind you, they get to do insider trading, so all of that fun stuff. But I'm waiting to see if they come out and say if she sold her position, because that would be really interesting. Especially, the assumption was she would have known about the DOJ antitrust thing, but it's looking like it was fake news at this point. So maybe that's not a thing, and maybe this just bounces, recovers, and then she comes back and has the greatest trade of all time. Maybe she doubled down. We don't know, but I wanted to show this just because I think this is so cool, because you can actually see what Nancy's doing. And if you want to see what the other people are doing, close this out and you can go to all government trades so you can see Congress trading. And does anybody care about politics trading besides like Doppel, Dan, and I? Probably not, but I think it's kind of cool. You can apply filter, add filter. We can do symbol, NVDA, apply. And we can actually see who's been buying stuff. So it's Republican, Democrat, and you can actually see transaction dates of all the people in the government, what they've been doing with NVIDIA. Because they have the inside scoop on it. So it's kind of cool. But anyway, shout out TrendSpider. Much love. So anyway, the other thing, where or not the antitrust is real. The reports coming in today were saying it's false. It was fake news. I'm going to say it right now. SEC and DOJ. I frankly think it's a government. I think it's illegal market manipulation if a false mass news comes out about your department saying that you're attacking a company, especially as big as NVIDIA, and you don't instantly come out within an hour and tweet, hey, it's fake. That's not real. Or they come out and confirm it. Like, they definitely should do something, I would say. That's the scary part, is they didn't. And like other news outlets are confirming it because it's a big deal. Like, if you go back and look at like the tech bubble burst we had back in like the early 2000s, like 2001, the United States served the Microsoft Corporation of antitrust, and we had a gigantic bubble pop. So this is not a small deal. And it was really interesting because the fact that they would do this like 2 months before the presidential election, it's a very bold strategy. Not going to lie. So anyway, moving on. Let me catch up on chat. She played a couple AI characters, maybe. She played Luffy. Can't believe you. Yeah. RMF's home. Panda's redemption in process. I hope, Phil. Panda's all over my Discord, or not Discord, my Twitter feed today. But anyway, we'll get to election. Wowie, we will get to election soon, I promise. But moving on, crypto, Bitcoin. If you didn't know, ETF flows can flow in and flow out, and we've been on a hell of a run lately. It's been very unfortunate. But the big thing is Grayscale continues to freaking bleed, and price is still kind of hovering, albeit it's kind of at a range low right now, and people aren't very, very happy with it. 1 hour yesterday, I was looking at some things. We kind of got like a Malifestro setup where we had a liquidity test that kind of invert barred. And this is what I wanted to see. I considered this liquidity sweep. And I was wanting to see, because look at these big buys coming in. I wanted to see this 1H hour support block hold because it had been hit so many times. We swept below it and then we peeked our head above it. And it looked like we were going to get the retest and pop out. And then we continue to fade. And right now we're sitting at this bottom here. So I thought we were going to get a snipe entry on the 1 hour. It's not the case. We're going to move on and look and see, reassess. We're not going to diamond hand this into positions, but this is essentially where we're at. The two creek cross jumps, the creek jumps that we talked about in the past. This was the yen carry trade nuke that actually hit white candles, pink RSI. We slammed that one. That was the entry on the creek jump. The other entry was right around here. I don't remember. You can go check the other streams. Anyway, added here as well, and it's been boring because these have been a few months apart, but now we're trying to figure out what's going on. I consider this order block from like 60, it's around 59.5 to like 61 to really be like the king order block, and that's really what's been happening, but we've been sweeping below it, popping above it, sweeping below it, jumping back up into it. Then we had this capitulation trade that bounced, and we got the bounce. The home run trade, this is the whole, go watch the yin-yang trade setups that I covered the past few streams. That's what those were about. And the safe play, the home runs up here, hit the other side of that reversion band rainbow. The safer trade is just at least bounce into the mid-range. We got into the mid-range and got pretty close, and then we rolled over and barred. And if you guys don't recall, I posted tweets saying, hey, I wanted to hold this longer, but I'm out. This is a BART that I wasn't looking for a BART, but every single BART signal that I had fired off and I exited. So the capitulation entry here, I sold it right around right there. Not that this is a trading stream, and not that you should like, comment, and subscribe or retweet. Tell your friends and fam that this stream is going live. Definitely shouldn't do that. We want to keep this stream low key. Much love, thank you. We got a core group of guys who retweet all my stuff and like it when I post it on these streams. Much appreciated. Don't think you're not noticed. You're my favorite. So anyway, that's where we're at. This is the hard part. You always hear me talk about, like, I don't like playing in the middle. This originally was our support, and it's been our support since March of this year. We've been bang, 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 bang through this, and now we're kind of deviating below it, and now you're starting to see people try to draw like bear flags, like macro bear flags, which maybe that's a thing. Regardless, I can tell you I'm bullish long term. But I could be wrong. And I don't like seeing this being retested over and over. I want to see the top range continue to be retested. And we haven't touched the top of the range since June. So that's facts. But regardless, we're kind of in the mid-range here. If we want to draw like another order block, which I think is valid at this point, we can consider this kind of the lower second order block. And there's another old OG pivot right there. But we would switch that one to there, and that's kind of what we're looking at. So that's like the macro look on Bitcoin. I don't really like trading in this mid-range. I grabbed these creek jumps, which were hard, and then we grabbed this capitulation trade, which was easy. You just have to have the mentality to trade with the whales when that stuff pops. But the thing is what I'm saying is like none of this is easy. We are not in easy mode at all. Stuff is not running long term. Stuff is popping and dying, popping and dying. Aave and like EOS are running. You're not gonna have a good time. It's just the way it goes. So that's that. And if you look at the order books, we're not really seeing crazy stuff either. This is Binance perpetuals, CoinM perpetuals. You can see when we had some big sell walls here that got pulled, price went up and hit a martingale. And then it's just kind of been in market maker mode where you just kind of have these algorithms market making. That's what these bots are doing. Not really seeing anything crazy or telling here, especially when you go to like Coinbase. Coinbase is a little easier to read what the whales are doing. So there's like whale theory actively trading, and then you can actually see the whales that are willing to put their positions in an order book. And that's what Trading Light's all about. This is visualizing limit orders as you can see them, excuse me. And the one thing you will notice about Coinbase, their market makers follow it very religiously. And let me see if I can get these guys to show up. You see them there? Not the straight lines, the ones that look like dots. They're chasing. They're trying to control price, but they're also trying to sell. If you notice, there's more dots on this side. This is them really not super bullish and buying. That's them kind of trying to sell is how you should visualize that and kind of interpret it. Because I wanted to show you guys this. If we go back in time when we were in easy mode, which is before March. Yes, and there's going to be martingales all over this place because that's just how the Coinbase exchange goes. Do you see the difference here before this giant run? What the whales did? Just lost it. I went to 1 hour and now you can't see it. Hashtag pro streamer. Tell your friends. Tell your dog. And your cats. That's May. It's a very specific print. Let me see if I can just go to 2 hour and catch it that way. Thanks for all who are catching this live. And all the subscribers on Facebook and Twitch. Trying to get those numbers up, and it's been really cool to see this grow slowly. And I wish I could do this more often, but that's about all I got time for with kiddos and fishing and all the other stuff we're doing right now. So you see here, dang it, I wish I could get those horizontals out. Try to ignore the horizontals. So this was the run where we went from 51 up to like 68. But if you notice here, do you see this? These dots are only on the sell side. Right? See that? There's nothing here. Ghost town. Not buying. They're selling into it. Right? That's telling you your big whales are not selling this. Right? That's just how it is. But if you'll notice here... turn that off. You can see where they turned on the afterburners. February 23rd, and then 3 days later, it went parabolic, right? And you'll notice that they came back and they started hitting up the other side. And this is one thing I was kind of looking at today. We haven't seen that in a bit. We haven't seen that side of the order book getting lit up on Coinbase. Because typically when we run, it's Coinbase that kind of goes ham. as of lately. And as you can see me struggling trying to do this, shout out Trading Light, I'm just an idiot. You can see they're only on the top side. There's nothing on the bottom. Even during that capitulation, they were only hitting horizontal martingale orders here. They weren't market making the bottom part. So I want to see that dude come back. You can see a little bit here, but I want to see that big cloud show up here under. And we may never see it. It may be something else. Maybe Binance comes out and does it. We don't know. But that's something I saw and I wanted to show you guys. So it's pretty cool. Because the liquidity is everywhere. But they do show kind of their hand with Trading Lights. So that's why you see a lot of people posting these charts. But if you don't know what you're looking at, it doesn't make any sense. So I wanted to show it because this is another cool one. This is Binance Spot. So that recent BART that spooked me and got me out, it was stopped by a Binance whale. So they actually touched him. He got 4 Bitcoin out on that sell, and then the market died. So the guy who was literally sitting there with 200 Bitcoin on limit sell, that's the dude who stopped that run. So the whales pushed into him. It was a reel. And popped off. See you later, dude. Power plant. Much love. So it's kind of cool. You can actually see, oh, who's going to carry the boat? Who held the wall? That dude held the wall right there. It was only 4 Bitcoin, but he did it. So it's pretty cool. But anyway, moving on. Having Tracker. This was one that I saw Dime posting up. Having Tracker. I need to follow them. We're going to follow them live. And this is one that's been kind of sad because this is showing you price action based on the timing of the halvenings. And so far, you know, all the other times, once we've gotten about like 100 days past the halvening, it kind of starts skyrocketing. And we're definitely not doing that right now, and it's kind of depressing. But the one thing I want to remind you, and we've said it before, we're off the maps right now. We hit all-time high before this halvening, so maybe it's going to be a delayed response. Maybe we've already peaked and we're going to pull back. We don't really know. But regardless, we want to be bullish. We want to hit this side, because if we hit this side, we're talking like $200,000 Bitcoin targets. So there's that. But anyway, moving on. That kind of looks like SBF. Another one. I don't like this at all, but Binance introduces fixed rate loans. Now we have more options for stablecoin borrowing and lending. I don't want to be the yield. I don't want to be the guy that's risk-on. Maybe it's really cool. Maybe that's a product you need, but that type of stuff makes me nervous, especially when it's posted by DGen News, but that's just the way it goes. I want to see Binance do well. We're going to get CZ out of prison, albeit CZ's not going to be messing with Binance anytime soon, but I think he's actually like permanently out. I don't know. I saw some rumbling on that, but I don't know if they're going to be officially talking about it. Regardless, are we going to accumulate BNB while CZ's in jail? That's the question I want to know. I don't know. I will say this. There are some whale prints showing on the buy side that I noticed today, and I'm kind of curious if we're going to regret it. I never really liked BNB because it never organically moved with the rainbow color stuff, because it's really centrally controlled by like Binance. So like, to me, it paints really weird. Like XRP is heavily manipulated by the actual XRP Foundation, allegedly. XRP moves really weird. BNB moves really weird. And then what was the other one? There's another one that moves really weird to me. It doesn't bot very well, because if you do back testing, because it's like one whale, not an organic like ocean of whales. But regardless, I think, was it Tron? I don't remember. Doesn't matter. Anyway, that's something to keep note on. But we are starting to see whales defend. But these are not stereotypical charts, but they are grabbing on sideways, and it's driving everybody nuts. So we shall see how this goes. I don't really know. We're going to move on. So CFTC issues order against Uniswap Labs for offering illegal digital assets derivative trading. I hate this stuff, but it's real. I think they ended up finding them like 200 grand, something like that. Don't really care. But that's what, yeah. And Uniswap price, as you can tell, is not really skittish. We are getting continuous pushes into this liquidity that we're going to find in these revision bands. And we're starting to get a gigantic whale cluster. If you guys don't know what whale clusters are, get in the Discord and shoot Pixa a very, very wordy DM telling him to get his microphone fixed and come explain the alpha that he found in Rainbow Trends with whale prints. Because whale clusters is off observations he created that we ended up coding for him. So I'm very happy to do that. But I want to get him going and get it on and get him on one day. I think he said Bitcoin needs to hit 100K before he'll do it, but we're going to keep egging him on anyway. But as you can see, these are yin-yang setups that pop, yin-yang pop, almost hit the other side, almost. And now we're kind of bleeding out and kind of waiting for the next thing to happen. That's just how these are. I'm in when this type of stuff hits, these pinks and whites. I can get in position. I can lock in a stop loss. I can be safe in profit or at break even. And then I get to roll my dice what happens after that automatic reaction. But right now we're in the middle. I don't like playing around in the middle, but I will say that is a lot of well prints showing up on this in the mid-range. So maybe we're going to get another leg up. We'll see. I just took a quick glance to see if anything's moving. Nothing of note. Albeit Ave probably is. As I spell Ave wrong. Yeah. Ave's doing really weird stuff. To be frank, these are really weird candles, and like the founder of Ave's been selling. I'm not really paying attention. I'm gonna let Nexus carry that boat for a bit longer. But moving on. We're gonna move on to some serious topics here. If you guys didn't know, Scottie Pippen's ball token is here to stay, and the game-winning ball is a real-world asset with projections from 8 billion to 2 trillion by 2030. So that's a fun math number because the Game 5 ball is a real-world asset that they're putting on the blockchain that he owns. There's no way that basketball is worth that much money. That's the actual ball that they tokenized. So that's a thing. I thought this was probably a sign that we were at the peak of the market, and hindsight bit me because lo and behold, it kind of was. Albeit, they rugged it initially on the launch. Their CoinGecko doesn't show that. The original dev rugged it, but it's worth 0.2 of a penny right now with a fully diluted value of 2 million with 5,000 in trading volume. So I don't know if they're going to hit that 2 billion projection by 2030. Don't know yet, but there is real alpha into this. You guys don't know, Scottie Pippen is not the best off financially. Long history of this, and you're going to see a lot of rugs where you're going to see a lot of people shill a bunch of random stuff. This market's really rough right now. It really is. It's not easy mode, and TradeFi is bleeding, and we've got a bunch of chaos coming up with the general election and everything else like that. So just keep an eye out there. You just got to be safe, and you got to be careful who you trust, because you're going to see people start shilling all these crazy tickers and all this other stuff. But with that said, transitioning into the sponsor of today's stream, welcome to Galaxy Gas. This is the leader. Sorry, I can't do this with a straight face. We're not sponsored by Galaxy Gas. I just think this stuff's ridiculous. And I don't know how this is a thing still that hasn't been shut down by the cops. Allegedly, this is for whipped cream dispensing. And it's clearly not. People are using these as like gigantic whippets. And definitely don't do this to your brain. This is not good. This is a PSA. Don't do this. Bad, bad, bad. We're not sponsored by them. I just did it as a joke. But moving on, we're going to move over to kind of the TradeFi because we got about like 25 minutes left. Coinbase definitely should be, I think, reconsidering this. Albeit they may not want to make an enemy in the event that she wins. But Dime posted this up, and I think this is interesting because I saw a few people posting like, what the F? Coinbase CFO says Kamala Harris is using a firm to accept crypto donations. So Coinbase is playing ball with this. And I want to take a moment, as much as I love Coinbase, I can't stand seeing Brian Armstrong standing awkwardly, not knowing what to do with his hands in Washington, D.C. And this is a thing that keeps happening. They keep fighting Congress and trying to get laws passed and clarity, as they should. But as much as I love you, Brian, in Coinbase, someone please teach him how to pose for a photograph. This is just spot the alien. That's him. Like it's just not a good look. But they're constantly going and fighting all this stuff, and then the people that they're fighting, they're working with donations and stuff like this. So like, I'm definitely not it's just, you're making it, I don't know, you're trying to help out somebody who definitely is not trying to help you out. It's kind of a weird thing, and it's not like he's doing it for charity. So definitely there. Yeah, I agree, Corey Lee from Twitch. Negative 500 aura. But like, dude, I'm not kidding. There's multiple posts where he's in the suit in Washington, D.C., and he locks his legs like this. And the dude can speak intelligently, so I don't know why he does that. But moving on, if you don't know, next week is a very big week, and we're going to get volatility out of this bad boy. September 10th is the locked in. It's technically the second presidential debate, albeit we've done the switch to Kamala. This is going to be a big deal. There's no audience. Microphones will be muted. And we're going to see how that one goes, because this is going to be really interesting. She hasn't performed terribly well in the past, but if she comes out and knocks it out of the park, that's going to add volatility to the market, because right now the honeymoon season is over with the switch. She's only done the one interview, and it didn't go terribly well. And now we're actually seeing polymarket odds 60-40, which is crazy. She was winning not too long ago, but that was, your honeymoon period is over. She came in, popped, was beating Trump for a bit, and then it's coming back to this. So that debate's going to really change things, because the market wants everything priced in. And the priced in viewpoint of Trump winning the election is different from Kamala by a big difference. So it'll be really interesting, because all this is going to get flipped around that debate. That debate performance will affect these numbers and will affect the markets regardless of what you think. So, and at the same time, Trump's team keeps messing with DeFi products and rugs and stuff that gets hacked. It's almost like they're trying to catch an SEC case for SEC violations. I really don't know why they keep messing with this stuff and launching tokens and getting rugs. I don't really know. But another thing, moving on, TradeFi, we got all that presidential stuff coming up next week. We also see you later, John. Much love. The yield inversion is coming as well, and all your mega doomers keep posting about this, and it's a thing, for sure. Your yield difference between the US 2-year or the 2-year and the 10-year, it's about to invert. So the question is, are we going to go into a recession like everyone thinks when this thing flips? Are we going to ignore the data and not go into a recession? In the past, this has shown recessionary data when it flips. It's a thing, right? Here's your 2007 to 2009 dump. Here's your tech bubble dump, right? And here's your COVID dump. We're now coming back into this inversion side. And the idea is it'll go this direction and we'll go into a recession. That being said, it's not a for sure thing. These things rhyme. They don't always match. And we have to really think about this. There's a bunch, there's a bullish side, there's a bearish side, there's, I guess, an agnostic side. But this is something that is going to be all over your Twitter feed once it hits. It briefly blipped it, and it's gone below the $1. Or not the $1, the equal median line, 0. And it's coming. It's eventually going to break through and go below it, and then people are going to lose their mind. But with the same thing, it's not like this has been creeping up on us, right? And out of nowhere. We knew this is coming. We've been watching this get closer and closer and closer. We've seen a lot of heartache. We've seen inflation move and all this other stuff. We've seen the FOMC or the Fed address a lot of things. It's there, and we have to watch it. I don't think we're gonna necessarily just say, "Oh, hey, guy, as soon as we cross this line, we're in a recession. Go time, nuke every market." I don't think that's the case, but at the same time, we're at all-time highs on a lot of stuff, and people are hurting. People are struggling. Layoffs, unemployment numbers, all that types of stuff. But you got to keep in mind with yourself, the market doesn't necessarily match what the economy's doing. So this is something I'm trying to say is we need to watch this like a hawk, but we need to keep ourselves in check and not get into a giant panic, because people are going to be like doom posting all over this with open-faced mouths on YouTube and all their crazy Twitter stuff. But that being said, this is also lining up to a really interesting thing with the FOMCs. FOMC has a meeting this month, 17th through the 18th. That's when we're going to get our last window to do a Fed cut before the election, because guess what? The general election is November 5th, and then the next FOMC is November 6th or 7th. So the Fed has not cut. They've said they're looking into it. They think it's getting closer to the time. It's getting appropriate. Are they going to come in and drop a 25 BPS? Or going to drop a 50? We don't really know yet. They could come out and drop a 0. But the fact is, 17th, 18th, we've got the election next week. Hold on one second. Kids walking in. Sorry, it's bedtime. We're doing night nights. This is the only one we have time for before the election hits. So the Fed literally cutting the month before the election is going to be interesting. Needless to say, what I'm trying to really get out of all of this all spells out volatility, right? Debates next week. Was it the 17th, 18th? 2 weeks after that's going to be the FOMC. And then that's it before we go into the election. And it's going to get really interesting. But you got to keep in mind, data's still really looking good on the interest rates as far as like the inflation. The Fed doesn't look at true inflation. It looks at a bunch of different metrics which are backwards looking. So keep that in mind. It's going to be slower than what true inflation prints. But with that being said, and I agree a lot with Carpe Noctem on this one, if they start to cut, this will probably be the first place we spot it. This one was really good for tracking the actual inflation data when we were going through the big inflation spike. So this has been on a steady downstream for a year straight, which it needed to do to get inflation back in check. But we will be in an interesting situation because what the Fed wants to do is lower the interest rates and keep the inflation kind of like at that 2.9. But right now we're below the projected 2.9. So we'll see. The other part of this that's kind of bull versus bear versus, the other thing, we may go into an election, have a regime change, and markets just go ape, and they cut back, people go crazy. Maybe that's what we're looking at. But one thing, you want to maybe also take note of, Berkshire Hathaway is sitting on a lot of cash, and they've been stockpiling cash, and they've been selling a lot of stocks that they've held for a long time. They've been selling Bank of America. They've been offloading Apple stock, blah, blah, blah. And your guy, Mr. Buffett, is sitting on like $276 billion in cash right now. So it's something. DJI, all-time high. S&P 500, almost all-time high, was shortly ago, but now it's kind of rounding over with this like NVIDIA stuff. Maybe it's showing weakness. We watched these two channel walks break with some pullbacks, but we have failed to reclaim and start another channel back up, and we're not there yet. It's not that we necessarily will just keep channel walking up, but the point here is we haven't reclaimed this pivot. We got close to it and we rolled over, and I don't like rolling over before resistance. I want to punch through resistance and see what the whales can really do, and that's just not where we're at with this. So we have a lot of stuff lined up for the rest of September and October, and then the big election in November. And you know how I am. I don't like being stuck here with altitude below me with volatility. And it's not necessarily that you need to be bearish, but you do need to be cognizant in general that like the easy mode is over for right now, and it's at least consider having some cash available in the event that you want to preserve some of this. Not preserve, but necessarily, but have powder available somewhere in case stuff happens. If Bitcoin takes a nuke and goes lower, that's kind of what we're thinking about and talking about here. So as much as I want this range to hold, it might not. And if it doesn't, where does it go from there? I don't know. This was really kind of your last contention area. And then these old kind of range here, but you're talking 30K targets here. I don't want to talk about that, but that's where resistance will at least be found. So we'll see. My bullish argument for this, though, for general the crypto markets, that and that was the bears' opportunity to take us down into a 30K range. And every single time they got into this really nice position to end us, they pop back up. And we get back into the range. And then we start testing support again. So are we just going to keep something's no, I take that back. We aren't just going to keep bouncing here indefinitely. Some point this range breaks. Whether it breaks up or down, that's the question. Eventually we set a higher high or a lower low. That's really where it's going to go out of this. And continue, not just be a wick and die. We will start you will start closing dailies below this or dailies above this. And then there's really nothing left to do after that. Like the decision's a lot easier. Trading inside this has been a mental nightmare, but we've been doing well. So anyway, I haven't kept up with him, but that dude's funny, Mr. Trader Man. But anyway, we got like 10 minutes left, and I am overdue for some videos on tutorials. And I've been getting some really good feedback from people who've been messing with the tools. You know who you are. Thank you for the feedback. So I want to take this time to do a quick little tutorial. We did drop recently a main indicator tutorial for the main indicator. Sorry. So if you go and watch the video, this is a 20-minute breakdown of every single aspect of this tool, how to read it, how to use it, what does everything mean? Because when you first like dump into Rainbow Trends, like some people, you don't even know how to turn it on. It's how you turn stuff on, how you explains the colors, and then all the different marks and stuff is what that video is of. So the next video I wanted to do, and since we're streaming, we're in a groove, I wanted to do the split volume one real quick and walk you guys through this because it's a really cool tool. It's one of my first tools that we released, and it's one of my favorites. And you can check it out here. You can go click tutorials, or you can do indicators, and you can click split volume, and it'll take you here to a little bit longer write-up. And then it has a dedicated video from like way back in the day when you can tell I didn't know how to stream or use a microphone. But we're going to do a live one here. I'll show you guys the difference. So starting out, quick Rainbow Theory 201 lesson. We'll do a quick recap on the main indicator. All of these indicators, you click here and then go to your invite only, and you'll see the Rainbow Trend stuff once it's been synced to your account. Typically, when you add the main indicator, it'll look like this. You can hover and you'll kind of see it sometimes, but the colors won't show up. It's because TradingView puts it behind the candles and you have to move it forward. So go here, click it, visual order, bring to front. Once you bring it to front, it's stuck there, and it's great. It's just the way, think of it like a PowerPoint presentation with the layers. But moving on, I hated volume for the longest time. My eyes naturally struggle with this. If you can't tell, my eyes naturally struggle with a lot of stuff. So I didn't like how this presented volume, because this is two different things. These are buys, these are sells, and they're split. Or I'd say they're split, they're mixed together. So when you zoom into this is kind of like noise, and I didn't like it. And I struggled with it because I knew in my heart volume is one of the most important things a trader can look at, but this is not a good way to visualize it. So what I did with our tool for Rainbow Trends, we use an algorithm that digs through this data, and it basically tries to interpret the buys versus the sales, and it plots it here. So it puts all of the buys on the top side, and it puts all the sells on the bottom side. And it also has kind of a tracker that gives you this ghost line. So it kind of gives us a pulse of what the volume is doing, and it uses this threshold to give us a visual indication when a very large buy or sell has come through. And when a candle, a volume bar, is closed above that line, the color changes from yellow or from red to yellow, or it goes from green to blue. So it follows the same color logic. And that's how that works. And it gives you an idea in a much better way, especially if you're like trading like meme coins. You'll see them, I call them like impulses, and you'll get these clusters where the whales come in and they get aggressive in these kind of like impulses, and you can see like when they're really in it and showing themselves. And that's kind of the whole idea behind split volume indicator. It's very simple, but it fixes the main problems with the volume tool, because your eyes won't catch what this stuff's doing. On the flip side, you see buys when your eyes normally don't see this. When you look at, let me go to lower time frame. This is the big capitulation that we saw on Aave. Let me go back to 4 hour. It looks better that way. This big capitulation here. When you naturally look at this, you see a very bearish movement. It's a downtrend, right? This is a loss, or I say a loss. This is a price drop of 35%. That was a rough time. Very rough. But your eyes don't naturally spot things in here. If you kind of hindsight it, sure. Or if you're really good, you can do that. I don't like being really good. I like being lazy. So I like this stuff. And the one thing that I really liked here, during those white candles, right? These are the worst parts of the drive. The algorithm is telling you, hey, you need to really pay attention here. Price is going down, but big boys are buying. So what does that mean? Price is capitulating, but the big whales are coming in and they're starting to buy it. And a lot of times when you see really crazy price action, see, down movement, eventually you'll push the price down into an area where the whales say, that is enough, we're buying. And that's what these cyan candles are telling you. So you get the really big yellow candles giving you impulses, showing you that price is going down. On the flip side, you get to see when these prices are absolutely nuking, where these bulls show up. And if the bulls are showing up into a capitulation, the likely chances is that it reverts. On the flip side, if you are going crazy sky high, see, look here, crazy capitulation nuke, price going down, right? The algorithm's telling you, no, those are big buys coming in. And you won't see that here on the normal volume tool. But your eyes can see this, and it's saying, hey, pay attention, the big buyers are here. Because those are the dudes who catch the wicks, and then it bounces, right? On the flip side, when you get really high, now this is Aave, so this is not the best chart to show this, but like you can get these like really strong bull runs, right? And you can see like the buying going into this run, the price is naturally going up into pinks, right? This is really bullish. And you can see that like volume's increasing, and then it fades. And when it's fading, you can see the trend kind of stop, right? That's something you can also kind of see there. On the flip side as well, you can see them, there'll be impulses where they're really heavy selling, and you can see those with the clusters of the yellows. So that's Rainbow Theory Lesson 201 indicator, the split volume tool. Thanks for all who showed up for the stream. And if you're interested on any of this stuff, it's all on the website, but that's how we do that indicator and that tool. So I'm going to wrap it up now, and we're going to go head over into the Discord and do the roundtable. I'm going to fire up the Discord chats. They normally look like this with all of our friends and fam. Feel free to come in. It's open mic. Anybody wants to come in and show charts, or if you guys have questions about anything from any of our OG traders, we are more than willing to help out. or if you just guys want to talk Warhammer 40,000, 4,000, whatever the new video game that just came out. I'm looking to get into it. If you can't tell, I'm stumbling through that because I'm not very familiar with it, but I have played 1 or 2 of them. So anyway, moving on. I'll see you guys in the Discord. Rainbow-trends.com has got the link for the Discord up here as always. So I will see you guys next Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thank you.